So now we're going to put the focus on Canada and hear about some funding for low-carbon innovation and renewables for mines here. And it's my pleasure to introduce Mark Wickham. Mark is the Director, Energy Science and Technology Programs for Natural Resources Canada, and he's responsible for delivering a number of energy innovation funding programs, including the Program for Energy R&D, which has been in operation since the 70s, the Eco Energy Innovation Initiative, and the Clean Energy Fund.
Good morning, everyone. Just a little bit of background on myself. I'm an engineer, like many of you. I worked in the venture capital industry for about 8 years, so that gave me some background on the financing, the business issues of various companies. And I've been with the government for 13 years working in energy innovation. So my talk today is about innovation, which is a topic that you're all interested in, specifically funding energy innovation and clean tech. A bit of background on NRCan. It's one of the oldest departments in the federal government. It was established 25 years before Confederation by William Logan, who's best known for Mount Logan, but he founded the Geological Survey of Canada out of his own pocket, and then that became our department. A little bit of background on the Office of Energy R&D. So this was set up when there was the oil crisis in the early 70s, and we've been funding energy R&D since then. So we fund energy innovation in a number of areas, including mining, metallurgy, but also electricity, smart grids, storage, which are topics that you're interested in, nuclear energy, somebody mentioned a bit earlier, transportation, heavy industry, fossil fuels, methane. So we cover a lot of stuff. Of course, there's limited resources for all this, and all of these things are important, but hopefully I'm going to try to provide information that's useful to you today. I also wanted to acknowledge federal colleagues here today with the Global Affairs Canada, for example, and colleagues from the provincial government. So if there's questions that I can't answer, maybe they might be able to answer those. So my next slide is on, the key for the next two slides is that mining and exploration and minerals production and metals are important to NRCan for sure, and for the government of Canada and for Canada as a whole. And so, you know, from an export perspective, it's about 20% of our exports. It employs 370,000 Canadians and about 11,000 Indigenous people. And it contributes about 60 billion to the GDP in Canada. And Canada is really a global player in the mining industry with our rankings are quite impressive in different sectors, mining sectors. It's also an industry that operates across Canada, that where there's a lot of people in different cities like Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, or Saskatoon and Sudbury, where there's centers of expertise in mining. And Canada is one of the largest producers in 60 commodities and at over 200 mines and 7,000 quarries. So my next slide is on the role of government. So we're going to focus on innovation, which is the role of government in innovation. But so what does that cover? Well, it covers federal science. So we fund federal scientists that can provide advice on different areas like policies or tax measures or codes and standards. We also manage funding programs where we provide funding to external recipients like mining companies, consultants, industry associations. We also measure and report on various results. So the government has announced quite a few funding programs, and to make sense of that, we've also set up what's called a Clean Growth Hub. And if you do a quick search on NRCan Clean Growth Hub or Government of Canada Clean Growth Hub, you can get access to this hub, and the hub will help steer you to the best program that fits your situation. Another important thing is that our innovation is built on collaboration between public and private partners. So it's very, very important. So we work with CIMIC and with the Mining Association of Canada and various other private sector partners. Myself, I meet with private companies almost every day just to understand what the needs are. So this slide provides an intro to some of the programs that are managed by my program, our program here at NRCan. So I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Clean Growth Program a little further in my presentation, but that's the main program that would be of interest to this crowd. So it's $155 million over 4 years for R&D and demo for the energy sector, mining sector, and the forestry sector. We also have core funding, which funds federal R&D and other areas. So we're pleased to say that we received ongoing funding for that program in the last budget. And there was also a focus on infrastructure. So there was $820 million that NRCan will receive. That will fund not just R&D and demonstration, which is managed by our program, but also deployment. So this is commercially available technologies, and the bulk of the $820 million will be for deployment, and a little bit will come to our group for R&D. The next few slides are about mining innovation programs that are managed by some of my colleagues in other sectors at NRCan. So if I'm not able to answer questions there on these programs, certainly we can put you in touch with the right people. The point of this slide is that innovation achieves results. So for example, there was a significant reduction in GHG emissions in metal mining and smelting by 23%. Energy consumption was reduced by 23% while reducing GHG emissions by 63% between 1990 and 2015. And so this is an example of the long-term nature and the achievements that are achieved when there's partnerships between the government and private sector. This slide is about Kenmare Mining. So this is a federal government organization where we have about 130 researchers in 5 labs that are federal labs. 2 of the labs would be in Sudbury and Val-d'Or, for example. The other ones would be across the country. And so they work with the industry on different issues, and they've identified 4 priority areas, which are energy efficiency, productivity, waste management, and water management. One of the initiatives that they're working on is the Green Mining Initiative. The objectives of this initiative are to reduce the environmental impacts of mining, improve competitiveness. So for example, things that they're working on are improving water management, automated ventilation systems that were mentioned before, and enhancing productivity in various processes. And then recently, Minister Carr, our minister, participated in the 2017 Energy Mines and Ministers Conference, and where the federal government, provincial government, territorial governments have agreed to on the development of a Canadian minerals and metals plan, so that more information on that will be forthcoming. This slide is a preview for a new program that NRCan is launching, and there will be a colleague of mine will be presenting this tomorrow at 1:50, but it's a benchmarking program where different mines can benchmark their energy use with other mines. So there'll be more information on this tomorrow. So this is the main new program that we have that's targeted at the mining sector. It's $155 million over 4 years. The program will be launched this week on Thursday. It's an R&D and demonstration program that'll be targeting energy, mining, and forestry. So what we call the natural resource operation. So it's focused on industry. And there'll be 5 focus areas, so reducing GHGs and air emissions, minimizing landscape disturbances. There'll be advanced materials and bioproducts, energy efficiency, and reducing water use and impacts. So it's quite a broad scope. So there's information already available on NRCan's website. If you do a search on NRCan and Clean Growth Program, there's advanced information. We'll be launching a call for proposals on this Thursday, and it'll be a 2-stage call for proposals. First, we'll accept concepts, which we call letters of interest, and then those will go through a selection process, and a short list will be developed, and then there will be a second phase afterwards. So roughly the amount of funding will be split 3 ways in the 3 areas, but there's energy use in mining, so you might apply under energy or mining. Here we're looking for partnerships with provinces and territories. So one of the features of this program will be that we're looking for collaborative projects that are co-funded with provinces and territories. So this is one of the criteria that we'll be looking for. We'll be looking for partnerships as well. So if a few of you want to get together on a project that could affect the mining industry in Canada, that would be looked at very favorably. So I'll be available to answer any other questions you may have on this program, but stay tuned. There'll be some more information soon, and you can preview the information on our website. This is one of the infrastructure programs that I highlighted a bit earlier. It's $220 million over 6 years. This one, there will be some room for some industrial projects, but it's mostly aimed at communities in the north. And there'll be 3 components to that one: a deployment component, which is commercially available technologies, demonstration, which is more innovations, and there'll be a component for bioheat as well. So if there's an opportunity to collaborate with communities, remote communities that are, the purpose here is to reduce the use of diesel in northern communities. This is an example of one of the projects that we funded through our demo program. It's a project at the Glencore Raglan mine in northern Quebec, and it's been in operation for 3 years. It's quite successful. There's about 25 gigawatt hours power produced, eliminating 6.5 million liters of diesel, which is the purpose of our program, and eliminating 18 kilotons of GHG emissions. So this is the type of thing that we've done in the past. Going forward, we're looking at innovative projects that would push the envelope, and we look forward to receiving your ideas. So in conclusion, we're very interested in partnering with the mining industry on projects to reduce the use of diesel, to improve the use of renewable energy in mines. And we're looking forward to receiving your projects. Thank you.
We have a couple of minutes for questions if there's a question from Mark. I'm going to throw it. Is that okay?
Good catch.
You spoke about the Clean Growth Fund that's recently been announced, or going to be announced. You said there was a point there about co-funding. Could you elaborate a bit more on that, please?
Sure. So our program will provide up to 50% of total project costs. So let's say the project is $20 million. We could provide. Let's take a smaller project because I don't think we're going to fund too many projects, provide $10 million per project at the scale of this program. But let's say a smaller project, let's say $5 million, then we could provide up to $2.5 million. However, we would be looking for partnerships with provinces and territorial governments. And so their contribution could be provided in a number of ways, including funding or in-kind contributions. So the details are available on our website in terms of what their contribution would be. However, we are looking to partner, and so we're looking for their participation as well. Oh, good catch.
Is it working?
Yes, it is.
Mark, as technologies are developed for the mining sector in Canada, it has obvious benefits for Canada and the companies involved, but it also for the service providers, it develops competencies that are available for export from Canada and the world market. So are there additional incentives or assistance to help companies capture world markets with this technology?
There are. So the Canadian government offers a range of assistance programs. So for example, our colleagues in the Global Affairs Canada would offer programming to support the clean tech industry. So there's some colleagues available here today, so you can talk with them. But I'm just speaking about the NRCan programs that are managed by our group. But however, there are other opportunities. For example, there's funding through EDC for large projects outside. There's funding through the BDC, the Business Development Bank of Canada, for private equity or loans. So there's a range of assistance that could be available to companies and consultants.